The Philadelphia Eagles gave the Baltimore Ravens a brutal reality check today. Philadelphia gets the W 24-19 over Lamar and the Ravens. And if you're a Baltimore fan right now, I don't know how you can still view this team as a Super Bowl contender, because this team is far from that. When you have one of the greatest, if not the greatest kicker in NFL history, missing 2 field goals and an extra point. You got your coaching staff making dumb personnel decisions, just randomly taking out Derrick Henry after he makes a good play. You have a defense that can't be trusted. There's no way you're going to be able to get over the hump this year. And it pains me to say that, as much as I love Lamar Jackson, but the team around them just is not good this year. And initially, with how this game started, you get out to a 9-0 start, should have been 10-0, but Justin Tucker missed that extra point. And you're thinking, okay, the Ravens are about to annihilate another NFC foe. Because remember, Lamar Jackson only has one loss in his career against NFC opponents. Well, the Philadelphia Eagles just flipped on the switch after they started trailing. And then all of a sudden, they just completely took control of this game. Now, they didn't dominate you. Your defense did get a couple of big stops, but just over the course of the game, the Eagles started to wear down Baltimore. And Baltimore, they just couldn't buy any points in the second half of this game. You know, before halftime, they had a pretty decent drive, but, you know, after that first quarter, when you got out to that fast start, you couldn't get anything cooking offensively. And if you are struggling to beat a team like the Eagles, who are probably the second best team in the NFC right now behind the Detroit Lions, how are you going to fare come postseason time when you go up against Patrick Mahomes on the road in Arrowhead? If you have to play the Buffalo Bills again, I don't like you to win that game either. And I don't even think that you could beat the Steelers if you have to play them in the first round of the playoffs. There's a good chance that the Ravens could end up being a one-and-done playoff team. And as absurd as it is to say that, with all of the expectations that they had coming into this year, you signed Derrick Henry in free agency, you're thinking that he is the missing piece to finally get you over the top. And instead, the team around Lamar Jackson just continues to beat themselves. I remember a few weeks ago, Bill Belichick was saying that the only team that can stop the Ravens are the Baltimore Ravens, and that has been the continual theme with this team when you watch them play in big-time games all this season. I just have zero faith that the Ravens are going to be able to have what it takes if they go up against the Chiefs in the postseason this year, or anybody else. And hell, even if you play the Chargers in the wild card round, I have concerns that you could lose that game as well. The Ravens just are not that well coached of a team as what you think they should be. When you hear the name John Harbaugh, you probably say to yourself, top 5, top 10 coach, Super Bowl champion, Todd Monken, one of the best OCs in the league, right? Well, every time the Ravens get put in these big primetime games, for some reason, I just never leave them having the feeling that, you know, yeah, the Ravens can win it all. The only time I felt good about the Ravens winning the Super Bowl this season was after they dominated Buffalo, but they just had so many guys injured. With how Buffalo is playing right now, I really believe Baltimore would get blown out by the Buffalo Bills, rather it be on the road, at home. The Ravens just are not as good as a football team as what you expect them to be for a team that has Super Bowl expectations coming into this year. The Ravens look more like a second-round playoff team and nothing more than that at this point. And it's really disappointing because even though I'm a Steelers fan, I love Lamar Jackson, and I really want to see him win a Super Bowl. Like, I really do. This is my favorite NFL player ever, other than Jameis Winston. Like, I love me some Lamar Jackson. I wish the Steelers would have drafted him instead of taking Terrell Edmonds in the first round, but it is what it is. But Lamar and the Ravens, this loss to the Eagles showed that you just aren't Super Bowl contenders. And that's the brutal reality of this game if you are B more. The Philadelphia Eagles, they got a really talented squad. This is the best team in the NFL, top to bottom. They don't really have any weaknesses. Jalen Carter, you talk about an impressive human being, 300 plus pounds. The way he was moving around, getting after Lamar Jackson was really impressive. This dude is a special specimen, man. This is somebody that you create on Madden or College Football 25. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in. Shout out to Attitude Pop 3. He said Lamar said his mom cussed him out for not running when he had lanes and kept trusting his receivers sometimes. Lamar got to remember Lamar Jackson. He has so much green grass and don't run. Ravens, the most penalized team in the NFL. Yeah, man, it's just the Ravens don't play clean football for a team that is supposed to be a Super Bowl contender. For as good as what the Chiefs have been in the postseason, the Ravens are not even 50% of that. You know, you got to play better football down this stretch if you want to get back into that Super Bowl conversation, in my opinion. They still have somewhat of a chance, but they go from legit Super Bowl contenders to dark horse Super Bowl contenders. They are a team that if they are capable of playing their best football, they could win it all, but I don't really see that happening. I really don't.